Hello and welcome back to my channel, the best place to be to discover exactly how your thoughts and your emotions are affecting your whole health. And not just your health, but your life as well. Hi, I'm Andrea Coulter, and this week I'm talking about energy slumps. I don't know about you, but I generally find there's a few times a year where we have a big expenditure of energy, like summer holidays, or the whirlwind of getting back to school if you're a mom, or after the season, Christmas, celebration, New Year, all that kind of stuff, you know, where you have a lot of family and things going on. You have this big output of energy, and then there's a downhill slump afterwards. And what happens is, depending on how well and how gracefully you go through them, determines how far you're going to fall down. So I don't know about you, but I used to always put way too much energy out, especially around the Christmas holidays. And I'd often either fall sick right at the holidays because I'd done so much prep work to make sure everything was perfect, or I'd managed to get myself through the holidays and then right afterwards I would just crash. So if you feel like you're in a slump right now, you know, don't worry about it. We all have energy slumps. It's not unusual. And in fact, the life force functions on an interesting 4-beat cycle of tension, charge, discharge, and relaxation. And if you don't allow yourself to relax and let go, then what happens is it's like taking an elastic band and you stretch and stretch and stretch and stretch it out as far as you can. And then eventually that elastic has to come back. And when it comes back, that's when you get that downward spiral of energy. Now, depending on how much you like to stretch yourself is going to determine how much of a snapback you're going to get and how far down the rabbit hole you're going to fall for a while. So this week, I'm going to share with you not only my best tips to improve your overall energy, but the 3 ways that we often actually lose our energy. So stick around this week and follow me along and stay right to the end, because I'm actually going to talk about seasonal miasms a little bit, because I'm going to start sharing more of those as we go along in this next year. But for now, you're going to learn a little bit about it at the end, so hang around. So remember, if you're just watching for the very first time, I deal with holistic health. So I'm always talking about not just your physical well-being, but your mental and emotional well-being as well, because, well, they all kind of work together. So one of the ways that we tend to lose energy, and especially after holiday events, or in general, is through our nutritional choices. So, you know, if you are not eating to the best of your ability, or you have times when you are overeating things you shouldn't, when you're not eating well enough, or you're skipping too many meals and then adding in bad foods. So food choices and how we feed our body nutritionally is one of the biggest ways that we actually can deplete our life force of energy. Makes sense. The second way we tend to lose energy is when life isn't really going the way we want it to. So here's the thing. There's 2 ways around this one. Is either we feel like we're not in control of life and that things aren't going our way, and we become frustrated and annoyed and even spiral down into depression and woe is me. Depression often makes people feel very flat and drop your energy because, you know, there's just no motivation in life. When you feel like things just aren't going your way and you're really depressed about it, well, it's just sometimes easier to crawl back into bed. I get it. I've been there. The other way is if you take too much control. So after my whole depression, then what I often do is I'm thinking, nope, I'm going to take back control and I'm going to make everything happen the way I want it to. Again, not a healthy place to be. However, sometimes we feel like if the more control we have in life and the more we can try to rigidly control our life, that we'll be happier. Not the case, but we think that's gonna happen. So sometimes when you try to take on too much control in your life, that exhausts you too. Because again, remember the elastic band? You can only stretch yourself so far before you have to come back, and that comeback always makes you have to relax. And if you're not ready to relax, then well, life's just gonna knock you down one way or another. Or maybe what's happening is you're just not able to say no. Again, been there too. If you're that perfect person in life that everybody loves to come to and you can't say no because you just want to help everybody out, because let's face it, we're kind-hearted people and we want to help everybody as much as possible. I've been there too. However, there has to be a healthy balance. So you learning to say no when it's really not serving you in your best way is a good idea. Stick around because I'll talk about those tips later. However, that is often a way that we tend to deplete ourselves. Again, we keep saying, yes, we'll do this. Yes, we'll do that. I'll do that too. And oh, I'll do that too. And oh, I'll take that on too. And oh my God, absolutely, I can do all this. I can help everybody. Go, you run around like a crazy chicken with your head cut off. I've been there. And then what's gonna happen? You're gonna snap back and eventually you're gonna crash. And you either get sick, which forces you to stop and slow down, or you just emotionally, mentally crash and you lock yourself in your room and crawl under the covers and don't come out for a while. The third way that you actually can lose energy is through emotional overwhelm. So whether you're just carrying a lot of deep old emotional baggage just from life experiences, or if you've had a recent event that has just really kind of been traumatic and it's overwhelmed you, either way, grief, shock, anger, all of these emotions weigh on us. And if we don't process them in the right way, they can make us feel really tired and lethargic, and it's like carrying around a big load of rocks, really. And so if you find that you're just feeling like you're dragging yourself around for no apparent reason, you might want to look at your emotional well-being. And I'll share links for kits below. Whatever the case may be, of those three ways, which one do you do the most? And I'll tell you, I actually did all of them in various stages and at various times in my life. And so let's go over some tips on how, if any one of those is a big player for you, these tips are going to help you to come back to a center place, because it's not about being one way or the other. It's actually just about finding that natural, authentic, balanced place in the middle at all times so that you can maintain your energy. Yes, there's going to be times where you're going to have to extend yourself a little too much because, well, that's just life. Or there's going to be times where you don't have to do anything at all, and honor those times. So let's go over some of my tips. So to go along with number one, way we tend to lose energy is through our diet. Because did you know that your digestion takes the most energy of anything? So after you've eaten, and if you're eating improperly or you overeat all the time, ever notice that you just feel a little tired and lethargic afterwards? It's because your digestion is pulling all of the blood and energy into your stomach so that it can process and do all this stuff. So remember that if you've been eating improperly for a really long period of time, you're going to chronically be always depleting yourself of energy in other areas. It's interesting that when people have candida or fungal overgrowth or bacterial overgrowth in their body, they tend to complain about being foggy-minded. Because again, both can't play at the same time. So your digestion has to take a break. So I have a couple of suggestions for this one. Number one, obviously eat as clean as you can to nature. So fresh and raw vegetables or lightly steamed. If you can't do raw vegetables, there's another reason for that. And maybe you could ask me in the comments below about that one, because it's really too big to go into right here. However, lots of fresh and raw vegetables, keeping, your proteins to a minimum amount at each meal, getting lots of healthy fats because they're good energy, and keeping your sugars to a minimum. Getting rid of any processed carbohydrates. Even dairy can be depleting on the body, so keep your dairy to a minimum as well. Getting lots of fiber in your diet, And then making sure that you're avoiding things like, alcohol, and as I said, sugar and the dairy. So anything, and even certain foods. If you know after you eat a certain food that I feel tired afterwards, even if it's an hour or two later, if you feel tired after you've eaten, there's probably something in that meal that your body just can't handle at this time, and maybe can never handle. You could have a food sensitivity and allergy to that and not really be aware of it, because it doesn't make you have a massive reaction, but it depletes you of your energy. So doing a little bit of investigating into your diet and really being attentive to how you're feeling around and after you eat is a really good way to start taking back better energy if it comes down to bad digestion. Now, if you have amazing digestion and you eat super clean, then maybe you don't need those tips. So let's look at number 2 way to improve your overall energy, which for me is always doing a detox. Now, I will say that in the spring and in the fall, I always do a detox. It may not be a massive one every time, even just simple little ways. So starting with cleaning up your diet. Again, after Christmas and after summer holidays, we've tended to go overboard with things. So that's always a good time to and when you're feeling really tired and lethargic, it's a good time to just clean house, literally. So we live in a toxic world. Even if we're conscious of what we're eating and drinking every day, we're still taking in some amount of toxins, and your liver can only do so much. So it's always a good time to take a little bit of, time to clean out your inner organs and get rid of the toxins that are building up in your system. Because when the liver gets overloaded and the gallbladder and your digestive system gets sluggish, and maybe your bowels are sluggish, when all of these things back up, eventually then it starts pushing the toxin out to other areas in your body, like the joints. So a lot of arthritis can be just an overload of toxins in your system. There's lots of things that can sort of demonstrate when you're toxic. I know for me, I just start to feel a little bit headachy, I feel a little bit achy, and when that happens and there's no apparent reason, like I haven't been exercising extremely or anything like that, then I usually do a bit of a detox. And I'll share a link below for my detox kit. It goes through a whole 5-week protocol on how to do a really good cleanse, because if you've never done a detox, it's really good to make sure you do it in the right way, because you can actually feel shittier when you do a detox. Because when you start changing up what you're eating, if you've never really taken the time to do this before, the body's going to be a little resistant, and you might feel crappier and not know what to do in those moments. So my protocols in my ebook help you to deal with those times where you maybe feel mentally, emotionally toxic while you're cleansing, or just physically toxic. I have some great support tools in that kit. And if you have never done a detox, if you're on medication, then I would suggest you talk to your doctor before you do a detox. So number 3 suggestion is, maybe it's not physical. Maybe it really is just mental and emotional overwhelm. I don't know about you, but recently I've been through some traumatic events, and I've been carrying a lot of grief. It started with shock and a lot of deep grief, and I've had to really reach out to my own remedies for shock and trauma and overwhelm and grief, because I was feeling very flat and lethargic. And that's the thing, emotions and overwhelming emotions can really shut us down. So number 3 is journaling. I don't know if you've ever written a journal. I don't know if you keep a diary. I'm not really a diary type person. However, I have, but not for extended periods. Only usually when life has really been hard, then I write about it. And so that's why I suggest journaling. Sometimes taking time when you're struggling to really sit down and reflect on, how am I feeling? What's going on in my life right now? What is causing me to feel so heavy and tired and lethargic? Am I taking on too much right now? Has there been something happen that's making me feel overwhelmed emotionally? Whatever it is, try to take some time and take stock Really write out exactly what you're feeling, how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, so that you can maybe dive a little bit deeper into it, so you can see it a little bit clearer. Because sometimes, well, in life, we're just trying to live life this way, and sometimes we forget to stop and reflect on, how am I really feeling? You know, because for me, when I start to feel headachy and my eyes feel heavy and I just feel draggy, but I'm doing all my supplements, I'm eating really well, I'm getting good sleep, I can't figure it out. For me, that's always an indicator that it's more mental and emotional overwhelm on some level. And so I start to investigate in that. And if you need some help, again, reach out, I'm here to help. So the next suggestion would be share with a friend. You know, misery loves company and all that jazz. I don't know about you, but sometimes women are good at this, men not so much, but we just like to share. And that's sometimes where men and women get into conflicts. I know in my relationship with my husband over the years, I just had to clarify. I'm just sharing to dump this out there because this has happened and I just need to puke it out. I don't need a solution. I'm kind of just need to dump it. So sometimes having a girlfriend helps with that, or a really close confidant, your mom, your sister, whatever. Maybe your husband is a good listener. Mine's learned to be a good listener and he knows the difference between I need a solution or I just want to puke it out there. And I don't even know if he actually listens to me half the time, and that's okay because sometimes I don't listen to him. But that's how relationships work. So sometimes just dumping it and sharing, not in a horrible way, but I just need to dump. And it's cute because my daughter's away at university right now, and sometimes she'll message me and she'll say, hey, do you have a few minutes to talk? I just need to share what happened at class today. I'm like, sure. So she'll like blah, 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 on the phone for a while, and I'll kind of, and I'll like, do you need any solutions? And she goes, nope, I just needed to dump it. And sometimes just letting it out makes you feel better. So remember, if you can share with someone, and just make it clear that I don't really need a solution and I just need you to understand and just listen. The next one is, of course, take time for you. Just take some time when you're feeling really exhausted. Maybe make a point of sleeping in. I'm not really good at sleeping in anymore. I used to be, but I just find that once my brain starts going, I can't get back to sleep. But in those cases, if I'm just still feeling really tired and lethargic, then I really make an effort to just not do a whole lot of anything. I might just get up and have a nice cup of coffee or a tea, whatever you like. I might just read something. I make sure that I don't do any work for several hours. I might go for a walk outside, whatever it is that you need to do to just chillax, not take on anymore, not worry about anything. And if you catch yourself going into whatever it is, take a remedy, do whatever you need to do to bring yourself out of that, and then relax again. One thing that you can do, and I don't know if you meditate, I'm not a huge meditator either. I have things in my life that help me to feel like I'm in a meditative place. And it's interesting because years ago, I remember reading this thing where this old sage had said, sometimes just mindlessly doing a task like sweeping is a form of meditation. Riding my horse is a form of meditation. Honestly, cleaning out the stalls in the barn and being around the animals is a form of meditation for me. Whatever that is for you, do it. If you want to learn how to do a really good meditation, there's lots of them in the internet. Go on YouTube and look up some, find one that you resonate with, and maybe do an online meditation. It might be what you need. Whatever it is, do something to just take time for you. A massage, a long bath, I don't know, but do it in a healthy, qualitative way. Also, learning how to let go and just allow life to unfold for you. So when things seem overwhelming, remember, go back to that one about too much control or not enough control. Either way, it's all about not feeling safe and comfortable in life. So learning to find your safe place in life and trusting in the universe and allowing and to release and be okay with where I am right now. Sometimes just letting that go allows you to relax Remember I talked about the 4B cycle, tension, charge, discharge, relaxation? What happens in life is often we all get ourselves, especially with the monkey mind, is tension, charge, tension, charge, tension, charge, tension, and we never let ourselves relax and let go. So sometimes really taking time to consciously say, I let go, whatever this is that I've been hanging on to, and again, process whatever that is in whatever way you can with remedies or support or asking all the other tools. But also just sometimes it's important to just let it go. And if you've shared it with a friend, don't keep chewing on it like a dog with a bone. Let it go. Just let it go for now. Give yourself some time and space and trust that everything will be okay. It's a hard one. I'm a control freak, or have been. I'm working on it. So I really have to remind myself, yes, let it go. So maybe work on that one. Maybe take a big, deep, do 2 or 3 of those. Feel your shoulders, relax, let go. It's all good. It is, it's all good. Because letting go and just going with the flow sometimes is the best way to recharge. It's also a good way to be very clear if you're having trouble with the yes, no, no, can't do that, can't take on. If you're struggling with that, taking time to go, okay, hang on, I gotta let go, gotta release, gotta take a moment, take a breath, whatever, come back into center and decide, is this right for me to take on? I don't think so right now. You know what? I'd love to help you. However, I need to honor me right now because you need to fill up your cup first, because you can't help somebody else if you're not feeling energized first. If you're dragging your butt around but still okay, it's not going to work for either of you. You're not going to be qualitative for them, let alone qualitative for yourself. So remember, take some time to let go, to release, to allow, come back, and then decide, where do I want to go from here? It might be back to bed. I don't know. Some days I feel like that. And some days napping is a good thing, even if it's only for 5 minutes. And then finally is take one step at a time, just one. Go back through all the tips that I've given you and decide what is the one tip you really need to do for you today. Maybe you need to journal. Maybe you need to look at where am I going out of my way too much? Maybe what foods am I, eating that maybe I shouldn't be? Whatever it is, don't try to do it all at once, or you won't do anything, and then you'll just get yourself more wound up, and then you'll be even tireder. What I want you to do is today start with one simple step. Whatever it is, look at the whole list and decide which one is the worst one for me. Which one do I really need to change for me right now? It might be letting someone go that's not serving you in the right way in your life. It might be a certain food you need to eliminate. It might be something you need to add in nutritionally. Maybe you need B vitamins. Are your adrenals depleted? Whatever it happens to be, take one simple step today just to honor yourself. Even if it's just a nap. And remember, look at my links below for my kits, because honestly, I have an amazing energy kit. And yes, as I said, I've been using, my shock remedies, my grief remedies, but I had to pull out after that all kind of settled. I needed my energy kit to rebuild my etheric life force. So if you really need some help, if you've been through all these and you still feel like, wait, I don't know what it is, I still feel stuck, please reach out to me. That's my job. I'm here to help you in whatever way you need to objectively see where you may be stuck in life, where you may be struggling, what it is that is pulling your energy down. Is it mental, emotional, or physical? Or is it all three? It could be. Whatever it is, do something to help yourself out. Because you know what? Life is too short to be dragging our butt around. I get it, which is why as soon as I recognize that I'm dragging myself around, I try to decide, okay, which of these is it? Is it something physical? Have I not been eating well? Is it mental? Have I been worrying and stressing about something I can't do anything about? Or is it emotional? Whatever it is, I reach for my remedies, and then I take conscious steps like journaling or talking to a friend or whatever, any one of these steps. So thank you for listening today. I hope that these give you some great tips and ideas to help boost your energy up. And again, if it doesn't, please reach out. And again, thank you for being here this week. And remember, the only thing you can control is yourself. So for the rest of this week, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely. Bye. Oh, don't forget to ring the bell and subscribe, because next week I'm talking about stress and anxiety and overwhelm and ways to overcome that. And I was going to talk about a miasm, wasn't I? So we have these miasms. I don't know if you know anything about miasms, but they are all in each and every one of my kit. In each kit, it's not just about the physical, it's about the mental and the emotional. And in all of those, we have genetic predispositions that tend to lead us astray at times. And one of the things that a lot of practitioners have recognized is that they tend to fall at certain times of the year. Now, coming into spring, between winter and spring, which is where we are right now with this video is being taped, we have what is called the fungal miasm. So with the damp, cold weather and the up and down temperatures right now with spring around the corner, we tend to get this what we call fungal miasm. And it has a feeling of being stuck. Just, it's like, I want to do, but I'm too tired. No, I really do want to, but I feel tired. So if you feel that way, make sure you grab my energy kit below. So thank you for watching, and I will see you here next week. Bye again.